The words hit like stones in the air of the bus terminal, sharp and cruel, telling a small, dirt-smudged boy that he did not belong there, that he was filthy and should disappear. And just as the boy's shoulders folded inward and his world shrank to the concrete beneath his shoes, a towering biker standing only a few steps away noticed everything and felt something dark and unstoppable rise in his chest, something that made him take one slow step forward while everyone else pretended not to see. What that biker chose to do next would change the boy's life forever, and no one watching could guess how far it would go. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of one person to change a life, please like this video, share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Only kindness to help stories like this reach more hearts. The boy's name was Armin, and he was 10 years old, though hunger and worry had aged his eyes far beyond that. He spent most afternoons near the terminal because warmth leaked from the nearby shops and people sometimes dropped coins without looking. His clothes were always a size too big, donated and worn thin, and his hands were permanently stained from collecting recyclables. That day, he had dared to sit on a bench meant for waiting passengers, hoping to rest his aching legs. That was when the cruelty came, loud enough to turn heads but soft enough that no one felt responsible. Armin did what he always did. He lowered his gaze. He tried to shrink. He tried to disappear. The biker who saw it all was named Rowan Hale. He was built like a wall, leather jacket scarred from years on the road, beard threaded with gray, boots heavy with the dust of countless miles. People often crossed the street to avoid him. Children stared and then looked away. Rowan was used to being feared, but what he was not used to was the tight, helpless feeling that gripped him as he watched a child being reduced to nothing by words alone. It reminded him of another time, decades ago, when he had been small, unwanted, and told he was trash by people who never bothered to learn his name. Rowan did not rush. He did not shout. He simply stepped closer, his presence shifting the air. The bully's confidence drained as fast as it had arrived, replaced by unease. Around them, the terminal seemed to hold its breath. Armin felt it before he saw it, the shadow falling beside him, solid and steady. He flinched at first, expecting more humiliation, but what came instead was something unfamiliar. Silence. Protection. The kind that does not need words to be understood. Rowan crouched down, ignoring the curious stares, bringing his massive frame closer to Armin's level. He took off his jacket despite the cold and wrapped it around the boy's thin shoulders, not as charity, but as certainty. The boy smelled oil, leather, and warmth. For the first time that day, Armin felt seen. The bully retreated, muttering excuses that dissolved into the noise of the station, leaving behind nothing but shame and the memory of being faced by someone who would not look away. What shocked everyone was not just that Rowan intervened. It was what followed. Rowan did not walk off after the moment passed. He sat there with Armin, sharing a sandwich he had packed for the road, tearing it carefully so the boy would not feel small accepting it. He listened as Armin explained his days without self-pity, just facts, as if hunger and loneliness were weather conditions he had learned to endure. Rowan felt anger again, but this time it sharpened into purpose. As evening fell, Rowan made calls. He knew people, riders who had rebuilt their lives after worse beginnings, mechanics who fixed more than engines, women and men who understood what it meant to be written off. By the time the terminal lights flickered on, a plan had begun to form. Rowan found Armin a place for the night, safe and warm, and promised him something he had not heard in a long time, that tomorrow would not look like today. The days that followed unfolded like a quiet miracle. Rowan returned every morning, sometimes alone, sometimes with others from his riding group. They brought clean clothes, school supplies, and most importantly, consistency. Armin learned that promises could be kept. Rowan learned that protecting someone did not end with a single brave moment, it required showing up again and again. When the boy finally smiled without fear, it felt like a victory greater than any road Rowan had ever conquered. Challenges did not vanish. There were forms to fill, systems to navigate, old wounds that resurfaced. Armin struggled with trust, flinching at raised voices, expecting kindness to be temporary. Rowan struggled too, facing judgment from people who saw his leather and tattoos before his actions. But slowly, the balance shifted. Armin enrolled in school. He slept through the night. He began to dream, tentatively at first, then boldly. Months later, the terminal bench sat empty, just another piece of concrete in a busy world. Armin no longer needed it. On a crisp morning, he stood beside Rowan, wearing a backpack that fit him just right, waving as Rowan's bike roared to life. The boy's life had not been saved by money or miracles, but by a moment when someone refused to let cruelty have the last word. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like and share this video so more people can be reminded that kindness still exists, and subscribe to Only Kindness to be part of a community that believes in second chances. Before the ending, we ask you from the heart to leave a comment below telling us what this story made you feel, because your words might inspire someone who needs hope today.